What is that in my salad?
It's got a lot of salad. Hey, get on your knees.
Oh no.
I put plates already.
Oh shit, I gotta get this.
Now you can get to see it.
Wait, I mean, you didn't. Hey,
Is she crying?
Yeah, they did great.
Look at them put my salad.
Beautiful.
Remember when they met the tax man at 7 o'clock in the morning? They were meeting me.
Yesterday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
can we eat now, Heather? That was nice. I'm gonna give you the film.
I'm like, what is in my salad?
She goes, look at this. What's in my
Let me see it.
I wonder what you put in the salad.
Hold it right there. Whoa, what a shot.
Did a good job, boy.
He's been working hard on that thing. I swear.
Hey, maybe we'll get some work out of him next week. So,
Does it fit him?
I mean, did she accept?
Oh, it's loose.
Heather, did you accept? I mean, you know, did you accept?
Now you got that on tape.
I got it on tape too. I got this sucker on tape.
This was in that bag for my dad?
Right, right,
Camera was in the back.
right. Camera's in the bag. Jack doesn't get shit tonight.
That was just a deterrent.
I want the camera. I think they give me a camera. Man, give me a camera.
You don't get Jack, where does it go? You don't get Jack shit?
Work like this all day.
I can't go to work.
Why?
That was good, huh?
Nice, huh?
I said, I want to see it.
Heather, he had it on a job the other day. He had this ring on a job. He pulls it out and shows me.
Everybody saw it but you.
Y'all love it?
I think they saw it already.
Good thing I got my nails done. Yeah, I just seen it through the plastic.
Heather, he said they had 7 trucks over the job. All 7 of them saw it. Well, I'll tell you what, when I get an invite, I'll be there.
I think well.
Finally got you ready.
If I get invited, you won't get a present.
I got mine.
What's he doing now? Having a party? Gotta go.
You did, I was
And she was saying,
Yeah, you didn't know you were getting it.
And your poor daddy thought it was his party tonight.
He's still waiting for his party.
Hey, Jack, be like a drum again, huh?
Never gives me nothing.
I'll be you.
I know it is.
Okay, when's the wedding?
February 3rd.
What year? Yeah, you know Jeffrey told me? He picks the day, you pick the day, he picks the
That'll be
year.
your we'll celebrate your 50th and you
Okay, I'm gonna celebrate my 50th. I don't wait, I get a party.
February 3rd?
That's right. You can have a engagement birthday party. You won't expect it? Hey,
Heather, what you said, February 3rd? How do you know?
when you get one sometime.
She already knew. You heard that?
just for a toast. Toast will leave it there. You can toast with me.
Well, who's gonna toast?
Everybody's gotta go ahead.
Everybody's got one. should have brought my tripod.
Take down here.
Look here.
No, we have a toast.
You didn't have toast with us.
Jack don't have one. You don't have one. Oh, that's your.
He don't drink champagne.
I'll toast it, right?
There he is.
I don't blame it.
Ain't yours.
It's Roger. I don't like
I
champagne.
got a glass?
I
I don't have, Jennifer took mine.
Jack needs one.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
Heather and Jack.
Heather and Jack.
Heller and Jeff.
Jack too, because he's mine.
Jack too. Poor Jack, you're gonna be even poorer when this is over.
Where's Uncle
Wait, you
Larry?
got-
What is Uncle Larry?
You got two of them. You got two of them, Jack.
Oh, I got two. You're right. I got two.
And I got 3 boys.
Put your glasses.
And I did my duty.
Yeah, you're right.
All we gotta pay for is the.
We don't need Joe. We have
Jeff
time.
been
We
going
got
to every year next time. On Diamond.
We're filming it.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, like, yeah, we can do it for Christy's wedding.
You just felt so in place
Because
last
I-
night.
Thank you. You just said. What was it? No, because you kept saying, well, why you get dressed up like, what are you talking about? Mom told me to say that.
Mama told me to say that.
He can come up with something like that on his own.
Friday, May 20th. Today, May 20th? It's Friday. This is Friday, May 19th. Got graduation from UNO. We don't know where he is. Paul's looking in a binocular. Brian and Brad are throwing tomatoes at him. On this side or the other side? Where is it? Where? Oh, that's that. I don't see him. Hey, Banana Hat! Yeah. Yeah, we should have. Right there.
There's Ricky. There's Ricky.
Got it? Yeah, you're right. Don't hit the camera, Brian.
That's Ricky.
See it now?
I don't know. They didn't see me yet. All right, okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Let up. Go in.
That's good.
As we begin, I'd like to ask you to help me recognize first the 4th Marine Aircraft Wing Band under the direction of Staff Sergeant Kevin Hunter. You guys are very much. We have two very special guests, both of whom will be speaking, but I'd like to ask you to make a special welcome to these two distinguished individuals. At this time, Congressman David Vitter from the 1st Congressional District of Louisiana. And my friend and our LSU system president, Dr. William Jenkins, his first time at the University of New Orleans commencement. Let me ask other members of the platform party to just stand and ask you to just welcome them after everybody has Connie Shipman Terry, Terry Ruth Toombs, Ruth Moise Marisco, Sean Robert Webb, Roy Henry Wilhite Jr., Monique Michelle Williams, Master of Fine Arts, Peter James Carver, Stephen Berenger Cephalou, Jennifer Francis Dawn, Leslie LeWinter Susskind, Dorothea Monette McGlynn, Joshua Katie Patrick, Beverly Jean Rainbow, Master of Music, we shall begin with the College of Business Administration, Dr. Timothy P. Ryan. Dr. Robert K. Whipple, Dean of the College of Education, will present the candidates for that college.
Candidates with a degree in Bachelor of Arts in the College of Education.
Dr. Philip B. Coulter, Dean, will present the candidates of the College of Liberal Arts.
Will the candidates for the degree in Bachelor of Arts in the College of Liberal Arts please stand?
Dr. John M. King, Dean of the College of Sciences, will present the candidates for that college.
Candidates for the degree of
Christina Michelle Renier, Jennifer Allison Rooney, Catherine Weaver Sullivan, Marie Cecilia Swearingen, Lance Everett Tamburo, Kimberly Angel Trovatore, Christopher Joseph Winniette, Hamad Hassan Alzabi, Jimmy Barbosa, Lionel Barrymore Joseph Benton, Ricky Frederick Jebby Jr., Charles Jeff Giacconi, Yuhar Ho, John Watt Reed, Donald F. Hull Jr., Ryan Paul Johnson, William Henry Johnson II, Nina Coley, Greg Michael Rose, Ann Romano, Scott Michael Schoolman, Christopher Sean Sodden, Andrew Clarence Mueller III, Han Kwok Tran, Clint James Williams, Willie Michael Wilson, Kirsty Elizabeth Moran, Megan Anna Byrne, Robert Patrick Case. Walter Gillican Chamberlain. Kiana Denisha Clavers. Wendy Lynn Conaway. Felix Joseph Patini Jr. Samuel Glenn Gagnon. Robert McClure. Michelle Ann Ferdinand. Rick Alden Fletcher. Sabrina Robin Ford. Jean-Pierre Garnier. Angela Dawn Gunnell. Jean-Marie Harr. Keith Lawrence Harms. Joe Wesley Harrison III. Gwendolyn Giselle Hebel. Clint Ronald Hildebrand. Catherine Ann Hurst. Kimberly Marie Johnson. Elizabeth Marie Kane. Nicole Marie Close. Natasha Krogan. Dale Matthew LaCour. Bernard John Larry III. Patricia Rose Lawson. Michelle Renee Lee. Renee Andre Rouvier Jr. Annette Lucina Lusko. Tanya Morgan Jean-Marie. Kim Dunn Wynn. Juan Knock Wynn. Janine Cherie Nunnery. Miriam Shamara Paz. Suzanne Barbette. Aaron Andrew Combs. Daisy Gonzalez Cordova. Yvonne Elizabeth Correct. Pamela Peters Douglas. Tori Lynn Dufresne. Gabriela Hernandez Cavalli. Emily Ann Helbach. Zachary Robert Lowry. Rachel Foster Lindbergh. Heather Ann Mounier cum laude. Kevin Patrick Mugabon. James William Owen Jr. Shanae Adrienne Ladder. Kimberly Marie Lancashire. Shannon Blanker. Robert Paul Lay Jr. Kelly Lee Lewis. Ashley Marie Martin. Sandra Elizabeth Medier. Terry Lynn Meyer. remain standing for the benediction. Following the benediction, the audience is requested to remain standing until the academic procession, led by Commencement Marshal Dean Mark Strickland, has filed out.
Has been responsible for a few gatherings here on campus over the past years. He has served as president of the Southern Association of Student Councils, resulting in a convention of almost 1,300 coming to Rummel. He chaired this year's Louisiana Association of Student Councils convention, where almost 1,000 delegates came to Rummel. I asked Brad to use his talents and skills to organize a smaller gathering at Rummel for Christmas, but for some very special children. Brad helped me organize a Christmas party for the children of Angels Place and their families. These are children with life-threatening diseases. Brad, with the help of other members, turned this Raider Room into a very festive atmosphere for our guests. I remember one afternoon when we were planning for the party, I had a meeting with Miss Guilford, the CEO of Angels Place, about the party. We were discussing and wondering about how many people we could fit in the Raider Room. Well, Brad was sitting right there, and he responded, we usually fit about 350 in this Raider Room, and make sure you get all the party supplies covered, and he started listing everything we needed. Me and Miss Guilford looked at each other in wonderment and said, well, that's what he's here for. Brad's experience and expertise were an asset to the success of that party that evening. My most memorable moment with Brad came on one rainy, cool December evening when we met here to visit the Metropolitan Women's Shelter with Santa and elves. Brad was going to be an elf that night, and his brother was taking the role of Santa. Brian did not realize that he needed shoes to work better with the costume. At the bottom of the costume, all it is a big thing of black leather. We're talking a red and green elf tunic lined in bells, tights, a pointy hat with a bell, and possibly even the pointy shoes. Were you wearing those? Yes. He rushed out to his big, butchy Ford F-150 truck, dressed as an elf out in public to go home. As I realized this in my room, I looked up at my crucifix and I said, Lord, please don't let a Jefferson Parish policeman stop that boy. They'll take him right in, and I'll have to explain this to Mr. and Mrs. Schoolmeyer. I even heard as he got home to get the shoes, he even gave the family dog, Maggie, quite a shock and a surprise. I'll let you ask him about that one. He was named Southern Association of Student Council's Member of the Year and has received several awards in leadership, with I'm sure more to come. I'm very honored and privileged to introduce to you my Master of Ceremonies for the evening, Mr. Brad Schoolmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. Furman. Good evening, everyone. When Mr. Furman asked me to be Master of Ceremonies for tonight, he told me that I had to deliver the State of the Club address. I thought it'd be really easy, but it turned out to be a real problem because there was so much that we've done this year that it was hard to find and pick the highlights of this year. This year we had a total of 20 projects, more than any year in the past. When I started to think of a speech, I immediately went to the handbook to read the description of Operation Head Start. The handbook says, Operation Head Start is an organization at Archbishop Rummel High School that works in cooperation with the West Bank Head Start School in Marrero. The purpose is to involve certain students at Archbishop Rummel with at-risk children in the classroom at the Head Start schools. Though this is true, I believe this description needs to be revised because Head Start is a lot more than what was originally intended. Even before the school year started, Operation Head Start was already in full force. During the summer, we went to Head Start summer camps and played with the kids. Rummel students worked with children in various educational activities involving storytelling, puzzles, songs, and games. A few lucky Head Start members had the added responsibility of being a lunch lady for a day. Only a few, however, were given that honor of this cherished position. For the first time, Head Start expanded its services to the elderly by visiting the Chateau Living Center in Metairie Manor. Head Start members presented the ladies with long stem carnations and the gentlemen with boutonnieres. Also for the first time, on June 3rd, Operation Head Start held a car wash at Rapolo's Shell Station on Metairie Road. The car wash aided not only the finances of Head Start, but also the leadership of the officers. The senior board members worked together and grew closer as a team before the school year opened. Soon after that, Head Start helped Mr. Arthur's daughter and her family move furniture to the new home in Metairie, so that Mr. Arthur's grandson, Matt, could be near the hospital during his chemotherapy. The first major project during the school year was Angel Place's annual Trunk or Treat event in October. For the first time, Head Start won first place in the Best Decorated competition. The theme was Mickey's Pumpkin Patch. Rummel students dressed as Mickey, Minnie, Tigger, Pooh, and Eeyore were there to greet the little kids, dance with them, and hand out Halloween candy. As Christmas approached, over 10 Christmas trips were made. Some students dressed as Santa's elves, and one lucky member was selected as Santa for each event. This year, we handed out Christmas presents not only to Head Start schools, but also to Battered Women's Shelter and an assisted living center. Before Christmas Day, there were two large projects: the annual Operation Head Start Christmas trip to the West Bank Head Start School, and a new Christmas project. This new project was a special Christmas party for the children and families of Angel Place. Operation Head Start and Angel's Place have worked together for about 3 years, and this year we requested to host a Christmas party for them. Angel's Place is a nonprofit organization that provides supportive services to terminally and seriously ill children and their families. Over 150 members of Angel's Place families, AHS faculty, and Head Start members and alumni attended the party that night. As usual, Tigger, Pooh, Eeyore, Santa, and his elves entertained the kids. The Angel's Place kids also were excited to see the Sensations visit them, but I think the Head Start guys were a little bit more excited to see them. After the hectic Christmas season, Mr. Furman gave his board members a senior service challenge. Mr. Furman will later tell you, or should I say, show you, the conditions of this challenge, but his challenge was for the E-Board to think of, organize, and carry out a new project before the end of the year. Our idea was to organize a mini fair for the children of the Kenner Head Start School. The Head Start officers and junior Head Start members took a risk and organized the fair for over 110 kids. The children played 5 different outside games, received Say No to Drugs stickers, enjoyed a skit, and received Easter candy and other giveaways. Fortunately, the board members completed their challenge and the kids had a lot of fun. All in all, this year has been a remarkable year for Operation Head Start. It has branched out to several other at-risk populations in our neighborhood. Senior citizens, Alzheimer's patients, terminally ill children, and homeless battered women are now being aided by the work of this service club. Though we may not realize it, our small deeds have affected hundreds of lives this year. In the eyes of many, we are, in a way, heroes. Heroes to the children for listening to them and being their friend for a day. Heroes to their families for caring about their children and trying to make their day brighter. Heroes to the elderly for making the effort to talk with them and enjoy their company. Heroes to ourselves for doing what we know is right. And finally, heroes to God for doing what He has asked us to do, serve others. Thank you. We're now going to show a little year in review.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Rummel High School and Mr. Furman for inviting me here tonight to the Archbishop Rummel Operation Head Start recognition ceremony. As I look out on the faces of the young men in the audience, it sort of reminds me of my own son at this age, when he was in high school, which was a few years ago. Well, in reality, it's a few more years ago than I care to remember. But anyway, at this age, I remember him, and as I look out on these young men, as a very intelligent person.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I want to say that I am so honored to be here tonight to give tribute to these men, to Rummel High School, to the wonderful young men here that are sitting here beside me, and to Mark Furman. And it's a tribute to the staff and the administration of this wonderful school, and to the parents who lead these young men in their vocation. I want to say how much I feel in my heart that these young men have done.
Of our appreciation, I'd like to ask Sean Odo to please present to his mom and dad, Mr. and Mrs. Odo, a small way of us to say thanks. Mr. and Mrs. Odo, would you please come up? Miss the Spirit Award tonight to Miss Judy Marshall.
Hey.
Miss Marshall,
Hi, Judy.
One of the things, going back to the kitchen. Would you guys mind going back there and presenting that to him? Okay? Thank you. When he comes out, we'll work something out. Thank you very much, guys. What? When I came to Rummel in 1980, I graduated in 1984, I came in 1980. I graduated first in my class and was valedictorian. When the paper came to interview me, they said, if you were told in the future that you were going to graduate valedictorian, how would you have reacted? And I responded, I would have laughed at the idea. I came back to Rummel, and if somebody would have come to me at Rummel and said, in 8 years from now, you'd be dressing up your students as Disney characters and elves, I would have laughed at the idea. In October, we participated in Trunk or Treat, which was a fundraiser. Next was Eeyore, and Eeyore was played by Mr. Mark McCloskey. Winnie the Pooh was played by Mr. Peter Pelletier. I'm watching the Oscars. It takes up forever. Here we go. I'm not finished. Mickey was played by Mr. Donald Sharp. There you go. And it's nice when you have connections in your family that one of your cousins will come and play Minnie Mouse. So I'd like to present a small token of our appreciation to Chapelette and our future homecoming nominee who played Minnie for the Trunk or Treat, Miss Nicole Thompson. I also need me to mention some pumpkins we had that night, and I don't have anything to give them. But Casey Prescott, please stand. Russell Russo, please stand. Michael Grimion, is he back from giving a thing to Mr. Burroughs? No, well, he'll stand when he gets here. It was played by Matt Truax on the other end over there. Now, I still have 3 characters up here, so you're probably wondering, who are they going to? Well, Eeyore is going to be played by Mr. Russell Russo. And Winnie the Pooh is going to be played by Mr. Jonathan Miron. You're welcome. Activities during your senior year, possibly overextending yourself. He told me, no, I won't. I said, well, I believe within a couple of weeks, Brian was named webmaster for the web crew. Then after that, he became a student council committee chairman. He told me he wasn't going to be involved, and now he took on 2 big positions. Well, the webmaster I can understand. That's dear to his heart. He spent all summer redesigning the web page to give it a real professional look. And that student council gig, well, he still claims he had nothing to do with that. But hey, I'll go with it. But you know, even though he took on those positions, he's never turned his back on Operation Head Start. Brian's first major duty was the first fundraising car wash we had. Brian was put on the street to flag down cars and collect the money. We also had to get him to persuade the elderly ladies that came for their car to be washed to stay in their vehicle so they could drive through the assembly line that we had. For some reasons, these feisty little ladies insisted on getting out of their cars. For most of the time, as Brian tried to persuade them to stay in their cars, this resulted in a standoff between Brian and our elderly customer. And about half the time, Brian lost. Brian has been a part of many activities this year, and he will tell you about most of those. But one small act of kindness that he performed, I believe maybe have been profound. We had asked Miss Guilford, in planning the party for Angel's Place, if we could purchase a Christmas present for one of their children and give it to them at the party. Miss Guilford agreed and told us about a little boy named Aaron. He was a wonderful child, but he was sick with AIDS. I could see Brian's face as he realized that this was serious, and I had already told him that he would be choosing and preparing a gift for this child. But realizing the situation with Aaron, I think he realized, I have to do good here. I asked Brian if he was okay with handling this, and he gave me a heartfelt yes, realizing that whatever gift he chose, it had to be special, really nice, and fun. Well, I met the twins at Toys R Us and told them to go get what they wanted. Brian came back beaming, holding a remote control Ford F-150 truck. You might think Brian was beaming almost like we were buying the truck for him. But he was smiling because he found just the right gift for Aaron. The best part of it was, the truck was something that Brian enjoyed also. I think their mom and dad bought him a remote control Hummer for Christmas. And he could share that joy with someone less fortunate. So it was a gift with a lot of thought and care. Aaron could not make the party that night. So Brian gave the wrap gift to the volunteers of Angel's Place, and we were told that Aaron was very excited when he opened that special gift. Again, rather than just going out and buying any toy, Brian took the extra effort and time, going that extra mile, to make sure he chose the right gift to make little Aaron happy. I'm very proud of him for this. I'm very happy and honored to introduce, giving the second reflection speech tonight, Mr. Brian Schoolmeyer.
That remote control Hummer is pretty fun. Tonight, Matt and I are here giving you all speeches because Mr. Furman asked us to. However, we've been active members of Operation Head Start because we want to. Unfortunately, I can't say that my main reason for joining Head Start was because of the children. At the time Mr. Furman asked me, I was already pretty heavily involved in after-school activities. I remember he met me after school in the parking lot outside of school and invited us to join him and the Head Start Club to the 98 Christmas trip. My immediate reaction was, oh no, not another club. Fortunately, I accepted the offer. But to be completely honest with you, my initial two reasons to accept were one, to help out the children, and two, it would be another activity that I could add to my college resume. I'm the evil twin. What do you say? It gets better. So I went to the Christmas trip that year to the West Bank Head Start School, and then after, didn't really think too much about it, other than the fact that I was playing with a small group of children. Until the following year when Mr. Furman reminded me of the upcoming Christmas trip. Inadvertently, he also reminded me of the wonderful time I had that year with the children. After that second Christmas trip, that's when I really started getting involved in Operation Head Start. Since then, I have participated in one other Christmas trip to the West Bank, totally of 3. Helped Mr. Arthur's grandson move to help facilitate his cancer treatment. Watched Cars as a fundraiser for the club. Assisted Angel's Place twice with a fundraiser and a Christmas party here. I also helped out in a fair for the Kenner Head Start School, which is part of the Senior Service Challenge. And finally, I went to a battered women's shelter twice, last year as an elf and this year as Santa. Short Santa. Instead of talking about all the events I went to, I'd rather focus my attention on the Metropolitan Battered Women's Shelter. I really didn't know what to expect when I got there for the first time in my elf uniform. I knew the children and women in there had had severe domestic situations, so knowing that made me a little uneasy. Also, outside of the building, there were surveillance cameras mounted to monitor the area. Seeing this was kind of a wake-up call to the reality of their life and the difficulties they face. When we walked in, there were many mixed expressions on the little kids' faces. Some would run or scream in terror, but most of the others, their eyes would go bug-eyed and stare at us. As an elf, I walked around the small room and talked to the little children, trying to open them up. I remember this year when I was Santa, I was surprised to see some of the children who would go mute on me when they were sitting on my lap. I was thinking to myself, come on kid, I'm Santa. You're supposed to like me. You're supposed to say something to me. But after some negotiating, they would start talking and say what they wanted for Christmas. Going to the battered women's shelter made me realize that not everyone is as privileged as I am. I don't have to worry about what's going to happen to me when I go home, but some do. It also was an eye-opening experience to the fact that horrible things do happen just around the corner. The expression from the children's faces were the best part of being there. I don't think you can replicate that kind of experience, and I think that's the main reason why so many people enjoy being in this club. Bringing joy and excitement to them, either as an elf, Santa, or as just my regular self, is the most rewarding experience to me. Like I said before, fortunately, I joined Operation Head Start. If it wasn't for Mr. Furman and his persistence, I don't think I would be up here right now ending the speech.
Persistence, translation, I'm a pain in the butt. All right. I'd like to present the first award to Mr. Jason Amadio. Thank you. Mr. Jeremy Ross. Mr. Brian Schoolmeyer. It's tight back here. And finally, Mr. Matthew Truex. In a few minutes, I'm going to hand the mic over to Brad. He's going to take over for the night. But I wanted to tell,
All right. Now we'll present the membership pins and certificates to the 2000-2001 Head Start members. These pins are a sign of your hard work and dedication to Operation Head Start. Presenting the pins will be Head Start officer Brian Milan, best known for assuming the role of Tigger during many of the Christmas parties, and Jeremy Ross, our only 4-year Head Start member officer.
Since the work of Operation Head Start is seen as a group effort, we ask that you hold your applause until all of the members have been recognized so that we may applaud the members of Operation Head Start as a group. Receiving certificates for active membership from Sean Odo. Seniors, Ronnie Davenport. Jeremy Atkinson. Brad Dearman. Jeffrey Clement. Jared Constance. Mike Grimmion. Kevin A. Christian Hernandez. Stanley Ho. Casey Prescott. Chris Rappoli. Harold LeBlanc.
Ryan DeYoung, a Head Start officer and leader of our football tailgating parties, will now introduce our keynote speaker for tonight. Our guest speaker tonight.
Raider gentlemen, you remember when you were in my class, that's what I always called you. Parents, faculty, administration, and honored guests. I'm deeply honored and humbled to come before you tonight to recognize these young men for the wonderful work that they do.
Our cheerleader will now present the 2001 and 2002 Executive Award.
The 2000.
You can sit down. Waiting for. I'd now like to introduce Mr. Furman up to the podium to explain the Senior Service Challenge.
In the spirit of watching shows like Survivor, here's the result. There we go. Well, if it takes this to motivate high school students to serve at-risk youth, then bring it on.
Ms. Winstein, our assistant principal, would like to share some thoughts.
I have to tell you, Mr. Furman, you had your mother worried.
So bear with me. First of all, thank you. Thank you for coming here tonight. We had a lot to celebrate this year, more than usual. It's really nice to be able to do service work and have the money and the support and the backing to do it. My members, thank you. That's all I can really say. It's just thank you, a heartfelt thank you. Parents, please congratulate your son. They did good. They did really good. Even if they just went out.
All right, before we end the ceremony, Mr. Steve Barton, junior high assistant principal, will now lead us in a closing prayer.
Remember that we're in the holy presence of God, and the Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
All right, that's it. Go eat. Have fun. Bye.